Hey everyone, it's Lulasai. I am here with a review for PlayStation All-Stars. This game came out in 2012, 2013? I actually forget now, not a big deal, but this was a PS3 era game that also got a PS Vita port, and I have 100%ed both of them the most I can. Unfortunately, I did not play this game when it came out at release, and the online servers are off, so really I cannot 100% them. That's what I should have said. So I have both the PS3 and the Vita versions sitting at 84% trophy progress because that is the best I can do. And yeah, but I still want to review the game because it is a significant part of PlayStation history, although kind of a failure. And yeah, I will say right out the gate, I'm not a fan of this game. Actually, I know that's crazy, right? I'm actually not a fan of this game. What I will say is, shout out to the fact that the Vita port is just as good as the PS3 one. The only downside is that if you download the update on the Vita, you will lose access to the main menu theme song. I know, crazy. Or the title theme song. Because the kid that says Battle Royale, like the song just abruptly stops after that point. So that's a little sad. And it's not just me, that is a known thing or bug. But yeah, I decided, so I had the PS3 version physically as well. I decided to sell that one and keep this one. Main reason was because this one has the online pass activation thing, and the other one did not. So, hey, this is a little bit more complete in box, and I mean, Vita isn't inherently cool, so I don't like to have the same game on a ton of different platforms physically. It just feels like I'm wasting my shelf space a little bit. So I will actively like pick one platform to keep it physically on. So Vita is just cool. I just had to do it, right? Okay, so I do have my Vita here, which I have never shown on this channel, I don't think. So this is my PlayStation Vita. It is the slim model. It is a North American model, and it's not modded. So I have a pretty awesome Vita collection, and it grows like it's probably the platform I collect for the most right now. Probably because I fear the prices will get even more worse for them in the future. It's not that bad right now, actually. Probably because the modding community is so prevalent that there is not a huge demand, I guess, for the cartridges. But I want the cartridges. I do everything legit. That's just how I am. So yeah, but I have this here so I can show or tell you the character roster. So PlayStation All-Stars. The plot is that an entity called Polygon Man, who was originally one of the he was one of the very first early PlayStation 1 promotional figures. Of course, he is not a mascot anymore today, and that is why he's so bitter, basically. That is pretty much the story, is the fact that he's a forgotten mascot of PlayStation history, and he's kind of salty about it. And he assembles a bunch of the most iconic PlayStation exclusive, well, I guess not always exclusive. Yeah, not always exclusive, but mostly exclusive stuff. And to assemble them to fight. And I don't know what he gets out of it exactly, but I can tell you that the premise, I guess, is that each of these heroes, or I guess some of them are villains as well, they're all called to action through a intro cutscene, which is more like a little bit of a slideshow of stills, but they're all tempted by this like power that's calling to them, and then eventually when you beat the story mode with each of these characters, you get this again another little stills cutscene where you it's very weird. It picks one object within the frame of the last frame of the still to just start glowing, and I guess that is, hey, now our character has whatever power Polygon Man had. So yeah, it's a little bit doesn't really matter though, right? But I mean, it's not even as good as like Mortal Kombat story or Injustice story. There's basically nothing here, but there's fan service, of course. So let me tell you the roster here. So we have Kratos from God of War, Parappa from Parappa the Rappa, Fat Princess from Fat Princess, Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, Radek from Killzone, Sly Cooper from Sly Cooper, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Cole and Evil Cole from Infamous. How do you guys pronounce that? Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, Jack from Jack and Daxter, Big Daddy from BioShock, Dante from Devil May Cry reboot, which is kind of funny that we got this version of Dante instead of the OG one. Hey Hachi, I actually don't know what this one's from. You can tell I didn't really prepare for this review. Basically, I promised myself I was going to do a video today, but I completely got sidetracked and ran out of time. So I'm just winging this one just so I can basically uninstall it off my Vita and move on. So Hey Hachi, I don't even know where that's from. Naruko is from Heavenly Sword. Raiden is from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And that's why I said not everything is exclusive, because I'm pretty sure that game is on Xbox 360. Sackboy from Little Big Planet. Sir Daniel from Medieval. Spike from Ape Escape. And Toro, I don't know that one either. So someone tell me Hey Hachi, Hi Hachi, and Toro. I don't know those two. And then we also have some DLC characters. So Naruko I actually had to pay for, which was kind of annoying. I did that just to have the extra trophy. I know I'm a scumbag. I had to do it though. So I'm a filthy trophy hunter, really is what I should have said. Not a scumbag, but DLC characters. We have Kat from Gravity Rush. We have Emmett Graves from Starhawk. Isaac Clarke from Dead Space, which is a really weird choice, by the way. I don't really think of... When I think of Dead Space, I don't really think of PlayStation necessarily. I mean, that's another cross-platform game right there. And Zeus from God of War. Also kind of a strange choice, but whatever, right? I guess God of War being the only franchise to get 2 characters. So that is the roster. I want to tell you that because there's not a lot with the story, so I just want to give you some more content, I guess. I can go ahead and show you what the menu here looks like if you want to see. So you've got this, yeah, I mean, just for historical sake, that's what the game looks like. You've got it in, right there, that little bubble right there. So, let's get on with the review. So, PlayStation All-Stars. You would think this game would be great, and you would be severely disappointed for thinking that. Because, oh yeah, and by the way, I have this really cool Vita case as well. I just want to show that because, again, I haven't showed my Vita on this channel before. Okay, so, PlayStation All-Stars. You would think it'd be cool because it's like Smash Bros, but with PlayStation characters instead, right? And there's the cartridge as well. Yeah, it didn't work out. So, I mean, this game's real only value was the online multiplayer, and now that that's gone, there is not a really good reason to play this anymore. It does not hold up like Smash Bros does. Unfortunately, I think the gameplay is just extremely suffering. Let's start with the positives though, actually. So positives, lots of nostalgia. My favorite thing about the game is the stages. So I love how each character gets their own stage from their own franchise, and the transitions and the background happenings in these stages are really cool. So the stages are the best part of the game. You got some iconic soundtracks during the intro cinematics, and I guess if you consider yourself like, let's say you're a God of War completionist who knows the full canon and wants to play every single game, technically you might have to try this one for a few stills. You're better off just looking it up on YouTube, but yeah, so I guess there's technically a little bit of additional lore added to each of these characters. Not really though, because the spin-off, it's not canon, I don't think. But yeah, just interesting little thing in PlayStation history, I guess. And here's the thing, the combat's not bad. I like the moves and everything, but it's all just pointless. But yeah, so that's basically it for the positives. There's some cool characters. Raiden is my favorite. Dante's probably my second favorite. And there's little cutscenes and stuff. It's just, there's not a lot to grab onto here. It's not a huge value for money game. So let's go into the, but the stages are very cool. And they're not just a little cool, they're extremely cool. Okay, negatives. So the combat, the moves themselves are fun. I like the animations and everything. And there's a variety of moves, like a surprising amount of variety. But the problem with the combat in this game, even though the moves themselves are fine, nothing has any impact or matters in this game. So if you didn't know, if you've never played this game, I don't blame you. Unlike Super Smash Bros., which this is trying to copy, unlike Super Smash Bros., You do not deal damage in this. I'm serious. You actually do not deal damage. So all of your combat, all of your attacks, the special objects in the arena that you can use, none of this does any damage. Instead, you basically just generate your super bar, and you can generate it 3 times. You can use a level 1, 2, or 3 super. That's another positive I should have said. There's a great variety of supers, and they are pretty cool. Especially the ultimate level 3 ones. So hey, that's another positive. But yeah, the supers should have been the cherry on the cake, but instead it's the entire focus of the game. You cannot kill an opponent unless you use a super. That is extremely lame. Imagine playing Mortal Kombat, but you could only finish your opponent by using, those special EX moves. I guess Injustice is a better example. The modern Mortal Kombat's, the modern Injustice, you just press both bumpers and you do this like super cool cutscene move, right? That is the only way to eliminate opponents in this. So you could theoretically be hitting the same opponent for 24 hours straight with all of Kratos' most powerful abilities and stuff, and nothing will happen. It's like it never even happened because you have to use a super, and the super is obviously going to cap out at level 3. Well, here's the second problem to that. The second problem to that is that the supers are kind of imbalanced. Some of them are like Raiden, for example. There is no reason to go to his level 3 super. Because his level 2 super is just way more powerful. And even level 1 one is really good. So what's the point? There is no point. So a lot of the supers are actually worse the more effort you put into gaining that, superpower essence orbs. The more of them you gain, sometimes it gives you a worse ability. It's going to be less effective. Yeah, and sometimes it is just a waste of your time. If you think about Kratos, his level 3 super makes him super big. I mean, this is honestly one of the more lame supers. So Kratos' level 3 super is that he gets really big and he can one-shot everyone repeatedly. But why save up all that energy for level 3? Because your opponent's going to steal your energy as well, so you really have to try to get level 3. Why do that when you could just spam his level 1 or 2 super repeatedly and get probably the same amount of eliminations, probably just as consistently with less risk and more reward? So the game just has no impact. It makes no sense from a conception, and I don't understand why they didn't just copy the... I mean, if you don't want to have the little, literal percentage bar that Smash Bros. Have because you don't want to be too on the nose with your copying, then make it like a literal health bar or something. Or maybe make them start at 100% and then drop them down closer to 0. I don't know. But this is not the way to do it. I do not know why they chose this direction. It makes this game... I would say this game is basically the single most casual fighting game ever made. Ever made. Because there is no... It does... I mean, technically there's skill to it, but it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like everything's a meme, honestly. And none of your attacks have any impact or purpose. Yeah, and that is like, obviously I'm just kind of thinking more about the possibility. I actually have played this game multiplayer locally with some friends, but on a PS3, but I've never played it online. So I'm more just imagining how online would be right now. But even if I ignore all that, the single player content is not that good. You can do 2 things basically, or 3 things. You can do regular battle, I guess, just waste your time. Although in this game's defense, there is a progression system with levels for each individual hero. That's kind of cool. You get to unlock some stuff, so hey, that's good. That's a good thing. So you can do versus battles to infinitely grind your characters, I guess. You can do arcade, which is like the story mode, but yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I'm sorry. It's a pretty sad story mode. And basically, the story mode consists of 3 elements. You have the opening stills, you have the rival fight before the Polygon guy, and then you have the Polygon boss himself, who's hilariously too easy, and then you have the ending cutscene afterwards with the glowy object. So it's the same thing every single time for all of them. And yeah, it's just not enough content. It's like they have too many characters, so they couldn't do a story for each of them because there's just too many of them or something. I don't know. But yeah. So PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, it is just way too casual, way too easy. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of skill involved. It's all about supers, but supers are not some additional bonus. It is the only thing you can do in this game to eliminate opponents. And that is extremely lame, Not a fan of it, and it gets even worse because some of the supers, I mean, some of the level 1 supers are better than the 2s and the 3s, which just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm going to give PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale a 3 out of 10. I'm very sorry. Maybe if I played it back in the day during the heydays, it could have went up, but playing this in 2026 for both PS3 and Vita, which thankfully are identical experiences other than the music shutting off randomly in the Vita one for no reason. And I say that because, yeah, that's important for me to say. The reason I'm making that a point is because the Vita versions are usually worse. But this is a case where it is identical. There's no, like, it's not inferior really in any way. But yeah, so it's just a 3 out of 10 game. It's not something I recommend. I mean, if you can get it for cheap, sure, you can have like a few, several hours of fun with it just going through the arcade mode for fun. But yeah, there's no longevity to the game. It's not a Smash Bros. Experience that's gonna keep you coming back years later. Even if there's like Smash Bros. Melee, for example, there's no real progression or anything, but the gameplay is just so good that you just find yourself coming back to it years later, and it still holds up. Not the case here. So this one does have progression technically, but progressing for what? For some lame gameplay where you need to use supers, and if you miss your super, well, get ready to start spamming the same abilities you were using before to have another chance at not missing your super. Especially annoying when you're learning the characters for the first time because you're just praying that your super hits or whatever it does because you don't know at that point when you're brand new to characters. So thank you for watching this video. 3 out of 10 for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That being said, I would not be mad if they want to try this again. If we got a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 and you throw in the newer version of Kratos, you could throw in Atreus, you could put in Aloy from Horizon. Like, I would be down for a 2. I'm just saying that this game in particular is bad, and that's just the truth. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.